I call the meeting of Prince Edward County School Board to order, and we're going to stand. Oh, you need to verify?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we can do that, please.
Okay, so I'm going to place a roll call vote to certify that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening to the closed session were heard, discussed, or considered during the closed session. Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mrs. Stiff?
Yes.
Dr. Ariady?
Yes.
Mrs. Carson?
Yes.
Dr. Corbett?
Yes.
Mr. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, let's stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's recorded.
It's for,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. All right. Any additions to the approval of the agenda? Any questions about that? I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion. Second agenda.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Okay, Ms. Stiff, are you in favor?
Okay, before we do the recognitions, we're going to look at if there's any public participation. Did you check that?
I did check. I can double check. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then we'll go to the awards and recognitions and introductions. No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, we don't have any public participation today. All right, we're gonna go to the awards, the recognitions, and the commendations, and the introduction. Middle school boys track and field, Southside champions. You ready?
Just keep on until you get the picture around. Just keep on. You should have followed.
Okay.
Like don't bunch up on each other. Miss Carson, can you see?
I can see.
Okay. Dr. Cox. Okay.
I'm good.
All right. For the first time, the Southside Boys Track Championship is coming home to Prince Edward County Middle School. The team managed to set a conference record and break several of their own school records in the process, while claiming the trophy during the Southside Conference Boys Track and Field Championship on Thursday, April 24th. And it wasn't just the Southside Conference Championship that the Prince Edward Middle team walked away with on Thursday, Thursday, April 24th. This year, the 4x1 team of Jazeel Lyles, Jalen Boyd, Zamir Evans, and Jade Green finished in 46.7 seconds, which is now the fastest time in conference history. Yeah, that's your coach. The 4x200 team of Jeremiah Smith, Zamir Evans, Jade Green, and Zeal Lyles also broke their own middle school record of 1 minute and 40 seconds. And Malachi Alford, who is not present today, broke our middle school record of shot put record with 44.10 feet. All right, but that was not the only thing that we accomplished this season. We also want to point out that out of our 17 members on the track team, 11 of them are honor roll students. And all in all, it was a great season. Last season, we finished 4th. 8th graders came back and they said they wanted to bring it home, and they did that. And like we did that in the classroom and on the track field. And when I call their name, they're going to put their hands up so you can know who everybody is. Damien. You're all right. Isaiah Peterson. Zamir Evans. William Eanes. Jazir Page. AJ Spraggs. Jade Green. Jalen Boyd. Elijah Coleman. Jazeel Lyles. Keyshawn Spencer. Jeremiah Smith. Justin Morning. Devontae Holmes. Mario McLaughlin. And our coaches, Coach G, Coach Q, who is not here today, Coach Chafin, and Coach John Robertson. Thank you guys for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys for your hard work. The 8th graders, where are they?
Raise your hands, 8th graders.
So you're going to take that to the high school for Mr. Baker and continue this winning way. We're very proud of you, and we're most proud of the fact that you're honor roll students and you're doing well. That's in part, that's so important, so important. But keep up the good work. I was the principal when they got when they had middle school sports. I'm really happy for you guys. Thank you for putting us on the map. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Justin, straight out.
Congratulations.
Good job. Awesome job. Good job. Great job, everyone. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you
all. Teacher and staff appreciation.
We'll do the retirees. This lady, we'll do the retirees first.
Retirees.
Good afternoon. It's Monique, that's here.
Oh.
Good afternoon. As you all know, we like to celebrate our employees. So this, right now, we're gonna celebrate our retirees. We have several retirees that will be leaving us. We want to thank each and every one of them for their contributions to Prince Edward County Public Schools and all the many years they have served with us. And I want to start by with Ms. Frances Arrington, who's leaving us from bus transportation. She's been with Prince Edward over 35 years. And I want to thank her for your
Can we stop for a picture real quick? Is that okay?
We can do all together if you want to do all. That's all together.
All right, please leave.
Miss Brenda Nash, 25 years of service and also retirement. Bookkeeper, she worked all around the schools, and thank you so much for your years of service. And then we have Miss Linda Carter, who's leaving us from transportation. Thank you, Ms. Carter, for your years of service and dedication to us and helping get our students to school safely. Thank you. Don't leave that, we can take a picture.
Okay.
And then we have Ms. Denise Jackson, also from transportation. Who, after 17 years of service will be, as we know, joining with her newborn grandbaby. So thank you again for your years of service. Ms. Penny Perrin is not here from transportation as well. She's our dispatcher who will be retiring after 32 years of service. And we also have Ms. Patsy Nance from the high school, paraprofessional, after 12 years of service. Ms. Saunders come? Nurse Saunders come? Nurse Saunders also celebrated 10 years of service, but also retiring after 10 years of service with Prince Edward County Public Schools, and we'll make sure she will get that, her certificate as well.
Come on in, have her around, that's fine. All right, if y'all wanna come on in, we're gonna get in the middle and we'll take a picture right here. Thank you, all the retirees. Good. Yes, all right, I'm gonna get y'all. Let's see, if you're right here, you're too close, I would like y'all to stand right here if you don't mind. That way I can take the picture from the podium. Oh, yeah. Turn your plaque towards me, please. Miss Easton.
Oh, Dr. gonna get it just like you, right?
You don't want to? Oh, okay, all right, just making sure. Okay, congratulations, 1, 2, 3, 3, one more time. Good job, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Hey, yes, this is my second retirement. Oh. DOC, freshman.
And again, as always, celebrating our employees is crucial to everything that we do here. And Miss Gloria Abbott, is she there? Miss Gloria Abbott has been with Prince Edward County Public Schools for 45 years, so we could not let this go unnoticed and recognize her for her years of service. Years of service here, I think they are talking. Let's smile, let's smile. Miss Abbott, we would like to present this plaque to you for 45 years of service. Thank you. And then we have Miss Sandra Stokes Gray with 40 years of service. And we're going to get pictures of everyone. And then we have 30 years of service. We have Miss Maria Jones for 30 years of service. And Mr. Edmonds come, Terrence Edmonds.
He's coming,
Coach Edmonds, all around teacher, coach, and everything else, 30 years of service. And then we have 25 years of service. We have Miss Lisa Simon with 25 years of service. And then we have Miss Janine Garrett. I know she's here with 25 years of service as well. And then 20 years of service, we have Miss Kim Thurston Foster. You're welcome. We have a few more to go. Just a few. Yes. So it tells you longevity is crucial, it's important, and we do value our employees and recognizing them. 15 years of service, Miss Tamara Roberts. Did she come? No. And then we have 10 years of service, Mr. William Hurt. Okay. Miss Melanie Ramsey. Miss Ramsey didn't come either? Okay. And Miss Andrea Felder with 10 years of service. And then we have our 5 years of service, Miss Jessica Walker. Okay. Miss Amy McClure. Okay. I know she's here. Yes, Miss Katrina Anderson. Miss Alvin is not here. Miss Kimberly Buzak. Miss Jenna Folks. And then Ann Thompson Dunbar. Yes. Oh, he the wrong one. I'm sorry. Miss Dunbar. Oh, no. And then Mr. Lewis Gould, Mr. G. And those, Miss McClure is here now.
Miss Foster, she wasn't gonna come, but she's here.
Miss Foster.
Kimberly Foster.
Okay. Thank you, Miss McClure, for all your years of service.
Thank you.
And we have Miss Kimberly Foster is here as well, and Miss Foster. Thank you.
That's not hers.
I know, we know. I didn't want to leave out and interrupt, but thank you. We do have your plaque for you. So thank you all for that. I appreciate all that you do and for your years of service and commitment. Thank you so very much. Thank you. From the board.
We appreciate all that you do. And continue that you will continue to do it. We appreciate you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. And Ms. Jackson, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. So I think I went a little bit out of order.
I missed that.
Oh.
Okay, no problem.
I know we have the two principals here as well. We have, this week we appreciate and celebrate all of our teachers and our staff. We thank them for all that they do in shaping our future and our students one by one. So happy Teacher Appreciation Week to all of our teachers and our staff. And we have the elementary school and the middle school principal here, so they would like to share what they did. If not, it's on board docs. But also yesterday, as a division, Amish Tradition Food Truck was here. And we provided pretzels and sweet treats to all staff members at the middle school parking lot from 3:30 to 5, and it was very well received. Each school provided treats for their staff. They gave out so many things. I was like, oh my. Just to name a few things, they had Kids Because of Teachers, You Are a Smart Cookie. They gave out cookies, they gave out snacks, they gave out trinkets, t-shirts, you name it. We did all we could do each and every day to celebrate our teachers and recognize them for all the things that they do for our students and our staff. So again, thank you principals for taking care of the teachers, and thank you teachers for all that you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're going to continue on. Consent agenda. Can I get someone to move to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Second. All right, all in favor? Okay, we'll go down to number 11, elementary school construction update.
And there's English. How are you tonight?
Thank you, Dr.
Very
Cox.
good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Good evening, school board.
Good evening, how are you?
How are y'all today?
Good.
It's exciting to see that track team come through here. A lot of talented boys up and coming. Well, thank you guys for having me tonight. My name is Alex Amos. I am with English Construction Company in charge of the construction here on campus. Graduate of this high school 21 years ago. Myself, came through the very buildings that we tore down 5 short months ago. So happy to be part of the rejuvenation of the campus. Our superintendent on site, Mr. Caton, he's also a graduate of Prince Edward County, and 2 of his kids are currently going here now in 3rd and 4th grade. So it's really neat to see that on campus. So we're happy to be part of this. Just a quick update on the construction. We've been at this 5 short months. Starting to see a lot of progress now. If y'all drove in, you actually see something coming out of the ground. The winter weather is behind us. Certainly was challenging in January and February with the snow and ice and sub-freezing temperatures, but we're making a lot of hay, as they say, while the sun is shining now. The steel frame is going up. The trusses, the main steel trusses down the corridor of the new addition will be starting to show up next week on site, so it'll really be neat to see that taking place for the kids before they leave for summer break, to see the frame of the building going up. Currently the team at Mosley and ourselves are navigating the supply chain and tariffs. Everybody watches the news. As you can imagine, going into a building where we have hundreds of pieces, thousands of pieces from all over the world coming to Farmville, it's been quite a challenge, but we can see light at the end of the tunnel for most of the things. We have been working great with Ms. Vance and Mr. Good and Dr. Cox. As you guys can imagine, I told Ms. Vance when we started this, she's used to running the school and keeping it operational. We're here tearing it up. So it's a lot of communication. We're SOL time right now, so we're trying to keep quiet where we can. We know the primary focus is to educate kids here while we're building them a new school, while everybody's working on new schools. So that's been really good working with Mr. Wilkerson, Ms. Vance, and Mr. Good. We have a big summer ahead of us. We have a lot of work planned for this summer. So noticeable activities you guys will see happening is the new roofs. The shingles will go on buildings A and C that's facing Zion Hill Road. The roof in building G has started to be replaced now. So that's going on. And then when kids come back to school in August, you'll noticeably see the shell of the new addition, building E, taking shape. So it'll start to be enclosed in. Start to see roof panels going on in August, so it'll be really, you actually see something substantial when kids and parents return in August. The steel, as you guys can see, the red beams, the columns going up out there now. We do have a beam signing. Feel free. We would love for you guys to put your signatures on the beam. It's in the parking lot right in front of the banner just up the hill here. We'll have some paint pens and Sharpies for the school board members to please sign, and then we'll coordinate with Ms. Vance and her staff and maybe some kids to sign the beam before we fly the last connecting beam in the building next week. So we'll have some y'all signatures as part of the steel structure forever to come. Dr. Cox, did I leave anything out?
Well, I wanted to, if I could, I just want to thank y'all very much. I've had been very fortunate to attend quite a few of the meetings. And I had worked with Mosley before, but I'd never worked with y'all before. And I just want to tell y'all, and I think Ms. Vance would concur, not only your attention to detail, but just putting students first. And I think in every one of our meetings we have, that is always part of the conversation. So I think everybody really appreciates that. So thank you for everything that you do. And you're right, the progress is pretty astonishing. So we thank you for all of that.
Yep, thank you, Dr. Cox. Thank you, board members.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Good. Thanks.
Ms. Jones?
Good afternoon, Ms. Carson, school board members, and Dr. Cox. This evening, I stand before you seeking approval for surplus funds that the county actually is giving us back from carryover funds that Mr. Stanley spoke on about 2 months ago, which we had a surplus of $2,787,230, and they're giving us half of that back, which equates to $1,039,101.50 for CIP, for capital improvement. So we would like to thank the, we would like to thank the county and Mr. Stanley for actually doing that for us as well.
And if I could too, I know I'm not on the agenda to speak about it, but Mr. Stanley, we really appreciate it. We certainly enjoyed the working relationship, not only with you, but also with supervisors. And we have actually, we did a tour before the last school board meeting. So we certainly have some things in mind. And we said this publicly before, fence at the back of the elementary school, and also really looking at the high school auditorium to totally refurbish that. So it's a great opportunity for us. So I just wanted to chime in with that. So thank you.
I need a motion to approve.
I like to make that motion. Second.
Seconded, all right. All in favor? Jones, you're gonna be here here.
Yes. The second thing on our agenda is this bonus incentive that the General Assembly actually issued. Now the governor, the governor has not approved this yet as of yet, but then they are anticipating us getting these funds based on SOQ. So I'm seeking approval for $190,475 to be appropriated in this year's budget to actually pay for our full-time employees, and we're asking also for our part-time employees to be included in this. And we're also asking, the full-time employees, the SOQ positions, actually should be getting $1,000 for their incentive. So we're asking for part-time for $500.
Any questions, Ms. Jones? All right, I need a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. All right. All in favor?
Okay, I'm still up
You're
next.
still here.
Yes. The next thing I'm seeking approval is for us to participate in the fuel consortium. We actually met yesterday and we set up our pre-bid and our bidding process, and we would like for the board to approve us to participate in the fuel bidding, plus give us the right to actually take the, I'm gonna say, best bid possible for the division on your behalf.
Make a motion. Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve enter into the fuel consortium and to make the best bid.
Second.
Second, all right. All in favor? All right, Ms. Jones, you still?
Yes. I am seeking approval once again for the authorization of the signature in case of the superintendent is absent, and those two employees that will be on that authorization form is Mr. Good, the assistant superintendent of operations, and myself. And that's only in the absence of the superintendent.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve Richard Good and Virginia Jones, authorized signature and absence of superintendent.
Second. All in favor? All right.
And I'm up next again, and that's actually for the out-of-town tuition. You all had this last month for the first read. It's coming back now for approval. We're just seeking approval. Actually, we do not charge our out-of-town students, so we're seeking approval that you continue with that.
Any questions or no? Can I have a motion? Yep, you moved, okay.
Second.
Any seconded? All right. All in favor?
Is it, no, I have a question.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Now, is the motion then is for us to approve, what are we approving?
You're approving that any out-of-town students that you deem to be, to come into the division, not to have to pay tuition.
Okay, all right. I'd just like to have it stated.
I guess.
Okay.
And even though they don't pay tuition, if they come into our division, we do get ADM for them. So we're still getting funds for them.
So the motion is to approve policy JEC-R, is that?
Yes.
Is that the, okay,
That's
got
the
it.
policy.
All right. All in favor? Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Good.
Good afternoon, Ms. Carson, school board members, Dr. Cox. I'm coming for you to ask you to approve the surplus auction. You should have a list of the buses that we want to get rid of. As of today, we do not have an actual auction date. We have to catch up with the auctioneer. There are a lot of auctions going on this spring, so we have to batch the schedule. But normally we have it on a Saturday.
questions for Mr. Good?
Make a motion, we accept the surplus bus option. Move forward.
You did have a question?
What accounts for the poor quality of a bus that has only 129,000 miles?
Is that bus 27?
Yeah.
Bad transmission and engine. So we figure there's no need to put, engine costs about 20,000. And then the transmission is another 15, so.
You see why you want to get
The mileage is a little, could be misleading.
Second to the motion.
All right, we have the motion, you second it? Yes. All right, all in favor? Thank you.
And the next thing is to approve the code of conduct for the second reading, but we have a couple of issues that the board has to get straight. One is the change from student code of conduct to standards of student conduct. So the board has to approve us to go along with VSBA with that change. And you can find that under student conduct on school buses is in that code. And the other piece is, I talked to you before about, we were just talking about students giving up their phones as they enter into the classroom. But on April 2nd, it was approved unanimously that they wanted no phones bell to bell. That means once the students get off the bus, they're out of sight the whole day. So if the board decides to go with that legislation, then I think it'd be fruitful for us to let the parents and students know what's going to transpire in August when they come back. So basically, once they get off the bus, the phones are put away for the rest of the day.
How would that work? I mean, when they get off, would they have a certain person that they give their phones to?
That's the piece we have to work on.
And those are the stuff we
Yeah,
have to
things
work
we have to iron out.
So
Yes, sir.
I move that we accept that policy.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what we have to work on. So then do we, in this particular, at this particular moment, what are we approving?
Well,
Are we approving to go ahead to say bell to bell or are we going to approve the different steps, the different entities of the cell phone policy? Don't we kind of need to know a little bit more?
How are we going to keep the cell phones away from kids? That's $1 million question, Mr. But again, this is April 2nd that this came out, and you can find it in Commonwealth Virginia Wall Street Journal. Or the board can decide to just go with having them turn them in when you go into the classroom. But according to this, the governor wants them out of sight, out of student hands the whole time they're in the building.
And that's executive order, not like actual pass, it is law?
No, I said it's not forcible.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
It is an executive action.
Okay. Just generally, I feel more comfortable just being that we still have got some steps to figure out how that would work bell to bell to approve what we chatted about last time, which is kind of the box in the classroom and then give it back. And then maybe in any kind of correspondence that goes out, hey, this is kind of like, this is what's happening at the state level, so don't be so shocked if there's another change June, July, August, but we're gonna be working towards being compliant, or we're always gonna be compliant. That's kind of where I'm falling on it, but don't know where it goes.
Personally, I like the classroom idea, but at the same time, if the governor says we need to do bell to bell, and if we don't go by what the governor says, are there consequences like losing state funding?
No, I didn't see any consequences.
No. The burden on the staff and the teachers, how significant is that with the bell to bell and everything?
Well, the bell to bell, it wouldn't be any thing on the
have we
teachers
gotten
because they won't see
feedback?
them. The issue might be when they have to collect them, put them in a box when they go into the class, and that might be an issue. But the high school's been doing it since January, and it's not been an issue.
They've been doing bell to bell or
No.
collection
they're
in the
classroom.
classrooms?
But they still use them
Yeah.
when they go into the cafeteria, and then sometimes you see them, which they're not supposed to be doing, use them as they travel through the hallway, but depends on how they're there, tell them to put your phone up.
What is your recommendation?
My take on that, from my perspective, is that I would want to know the details of how this operation is going to unfold on a daily basis. Okay, we have the bell-to-bell, whatever you call it, but how is it, what's the process? How is it gonna roll out? Who's gonna be responsible? There's just too many entities that are not spelled out for me, and I'm looking for details.
Yeah, this highlighted bit, like, and smart devices, smart device possession, like watches or smart devices, I mean, it's a, yeah, I don't know, I feel better about doing the classroom part first and then revisit it.
I think what we have in place, you said is the high school is already in effect since January. I think
And we just need to purchase the boxes or the containers for middle school and high school, so everybody be consistent with what they're doing with it.
The situation though, it seems like if the student pushed back and didn't cooperate, that ended up, now how does the teacher deal with that?
Well, it's just like being defined, you know.
So
She might talk to them, she might send them to the office, the administration might talk to them, but if you look in the code of conduct, there are steps, you know, if you refuse, now you're being insubordinate, and you might have a period of ATS or day in ATS, and if you continue, it might be, you know, out of school suspension for a day.
Mr. Takeri?
I favor approving it in principle, so that the governor knows and the people of the county know that we don't want cell phone use in the schools, and leave the details to be worked out.
I think what we have in place since January, it's already in place. And we have the amended cell phone policy that we're gonna be approving tonight, so I think based on what you presented, I think we can move forward with the motion.
Okay, we move forward. Is that what
And that's the piece where, as kids go to the classroom, they have to give up their phone and put it in a locked
put it in a
container, and then they can get it once they leave the classroom. And like Mr. Townsend said, we can slowly go to
sort out the rest of it?
bell to bell, yes. Let them know it's coming.
So that's the motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
All right.
Second,
And you
the
say?
motion,
to approve the amended cell phone policy, but the other stuff is, we'll keep exploring the bell-to-bell, but the amended policy just has the classroom. That's the impression I have, right?
It's gonna be turned in. Yes.
Second read, yep, just,
So we're approving the amended policy as presented, is that the motion that's on the table?
Yes.
We'll move forward and we'll bring it back to you all next month with the change on the front, the standards of student conduct and all that stuff. So you get the whole,
What's the new title? It's not code of conduct book?
no, it's standards of student conduct.
Standards of student conduct, okay. So that'll be on code of conduct instead of code of conduct.
And this came from Ms. Kimbrough. She was reading the policy and she saw the change.
We have to vote, all in favor?
Can I get the motion in a second again? I'm sorry, y'all talked and I didn't get exactly who made the motion.
Okay.
You made the motion?
Mr.
Okay.
Townsend.
And Mr. Townsend seconded, okay, thank you, sorry about that.
That's all right. We're jumping around. All in favor?
Are you two in favor?
Yeah.
You are. Ms. Smith, are you in favor?
No.
Okay, you're voting nay?
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
thank you. Okay, Mr. Crabtree.
Good evening, Madam Chair,
school board members, Dr. Cox. Last month I presented an updated technology use guidelines policy. This is the second reading. If there are no more questions, I would like to make a motion to approve the policy.
Make a recommendation that we approve the policy. Okay. Recommendation, and we make the motions, okay. But if you'd like to make the motion.
No, I'm sorry, I misread. This is one of the first times.
Okay, that's fine, no problem. Any questions any more questions that you had from last time about this?
Can I so move that?
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? All right.
The second item I have here is the technology surplus list. It's a little bit bigger this time because we usually do it twice a year, but we did not do it around December, so this is the first time this year that we're doing it. And I would ask the board to consider making a motion to approve the surplus list that's presented.
Okay, good job. Yes, so moved.
Second.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
I abstain.
You're abstaining, okay.
I haven't studied the list.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Crabtree. Thank you. All right, that's Eames.
Good evening again, Madam Chair, Dr. Cox, and board members. I am here to seek approval to designate Virginia Jones as the records officer for the division, and I will serve as an additional records officer for the division for the Library of Virginia. And this is the records and retention, and this is to maintain records and retention of our records here, finance, personnel records, coordinate destruction from non-permanent records, and coordinate and approve the transfer of records, etc.
Any questions for Ms. Eames? And where does the papers go? Where do they go? Where's the records? Where do they go?
Well, it's several records. We had, I think something happened a couple of months ago where we were reached out by the Virginia Library of Records and wanted to know who that designated records keeper is, and it has not been recorded since for a while. So we need to have one on file to designate the keeper of all the records to make sure we destroy them appropriately in a timely manner, train our staff here, and also keep all records as need be. But right now, we need to designate a designated officer
to do that.
To do that, yes.
Questions?
Is that the person, like if someone was asking for like FOIA information?
FOIA would remain Ms. Pafford. Okay. But all the records, like I'm personnel, so every 3 years we can purge our records and we go through Vita Docs. So before I can do that, I would need to go through Mrs. Jones to do that. High school has student records, and before we can purge them to Vita Docs, she would have to approve that as well, because it's finance related. So any records within this division cannot be destroyed without her approval or my approval. And we have to go by the actual list of records that we keep on file.
Any more questions?
I'd like to make a motion that Ms. Jones and Ms. Eames Walton be the records coordinators.
All right. Second. Mr. Collins? All in favor? All right, thank you. We're at VSBA with number K here, and Ms. Kimball's not here. Did one of the people from the committee want to talk about those?
Yes, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is second read. There really wasn't anything that stood out. I mean, there were really minor, kind of clerical, kind of clarity, kind of vocabulary changes and such. Nothing super major. GBR is the only policy that we didn't currently have. Even that was pretty cut and dry, so there wasn't really any, that there were any issues for on our part when we met.
So we need to vote that we're gonna approve these policies.
I make a motion, we approve the SBA February 2025 policy revisions for Prince Edward County.
Second. Who's second? All right, all in favor? All right, thank you. All right. We're at L, Middle School Gym Committee.
My thing is different than yours. Yes, I guess that's back to me. We are going to plan to meet in between the May and the June meeting, with the idea being that we'll bring a recommendation for the June meeting with regards to what to do with the facility namings, so we can plan. Because by the time we really got going on the superintendent search, it made more sense just to kind of wait for the dust to settle and testing and such. So we're gonna do that kind of between the May and June meeting, bring a recommendation for the June meeting, and we've been kind of chatting just over Lucy occasionally about how do we recognize the folks who we eventually potentially decide will be the names. So hopefully something in the fall that we can do for that, but we'll plan to meet virtually in between May and June, present it June, maybe we can even do a second kind of reading or a second presentation in July, vote, and then move forward in that way. So that's what we plan on doing. We've got 9 folks. Very good.
Thank you for the update. All right, moving on, non-action items. ESSA and title money. Ms. McClure.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Cox, and members of the school board. I come to you this evening, like I do every year, to give you the first read for our federal programs, grants, titles 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the first thing that we do before we work on our application is we always do our needs assessment, and our needs assessment is a variety of things. We do a systematic process to look at what are our gaps that are above and beyond what is required by the state. Because if it's required by the state, then we can't use federal programs for that, because that would be supplanting. So we have to make sure that anything that we're supporting with these grants is supplementing what we already have. These are our data sources that we use when making these decisions. We look at our state report card, look at student achievement, look at student achievement gaps. We look at categories where we have student achievement gaps, graduation rates, and our enrollment data. We look at school climate surveys, our parent advisory board. We use that. All of our advisory boards are community boards. I have a VPI steering committee. We use all of those focus groups and their opinions, and we meet quarterly. Like my parent advisory meeting, we meet quarterly, and so we also discuss, a lot of ideas have come from those focus groups that we have used in these grants. We also look at discipline data, so we look at our SWIS data, look at, that's where the mental health piece comes in, and then we look at our attendance data to support chronic absenteeism, and then our student enrollment. So I'll start with Title I. Title I grant is for our elementary and our middle schools. How that is ranked is that we look at our poverty data, and then I have to categorize that. So that's the order that it falls in. It could change from year to year, but it is still the elementary school and the middle school. That does not mean that the high school is not served. The high school is served division-wide in things such as the family engagement, where we include all families, K-12, in our program. Also in our Title I is where our intervention programs and screeners come in. So that's where your accelerated reader, your STAR assessments, those programs are paid for through that. Every year, prior to writing the applications, we always look at the usage reports, and then we look at the impact. What is the impact that these programs are having on our students? If it's not being used and it's not showing impact, then we're gonna look at doing something different. This also supports our pre-K program. So our pre-K program is supported by the Virginia Preschool Initiative mainly, but it also helps support our Title I program. It pays for an additional pre-K teacher, so we're able to have 6 classrooms instead of 5. It also helps pay for our pre-K assistants. We are able to hire additional reading and math intervention services, and that also helps pay for the part of the salary for our community and family engagement liaison and for our part-time person that helps with our community and family engagement. It helps pay for some of yours truly, my salary, and then my assistants as well, and then the supplemental instructional materials and supplies. Title II pays for, that is where you're looking at your professional development with teaching and learning. So anywhere where we need to grow our teachers, recruit or retain, because you want to make sure that you're hiring and retaining qualified teachers. And so we always are looking at our report. Are the teachers that are in the classroom, are they certified? And if they are not, then what do we need to do to get them certified? So these grants help pay for the sign-on incentives for our hard to staff so we can recruit. And then for our provisionally licensed teachers, it helps pay for tuition. And then it also pays for conferences, travel, and professional development. And you can see all the things that are listed there. It is private school set aside because FEQA does participate in our Title II grant with us. Title III is our smallest grant, and this is for our ELs. Title III mainly pays for, it's a very small amount, and it pays for professional development. It pays for extra supplemental materials and supplies that we need for our students. And where you see translation services, we need to be careful there because we have to make sure that we are supplementing and not supplanting. We are required to translate for K-12 students, but we are not required for pre-K. So our pre-K students, that's where Title III could pay for those translation services. So I don't want that to be misunderstood. Title IV, in your Title IV grant, you have 3 categories, and that's the well-rounded student, safe and healthy students, and then the effective use of technology. The effective use of technology is the very small part of the grant. It can only be 15% of the grant. Where your well-rounded students and your safe and healthy is the biggest portions. Well-rounded is paying for our STEM education, and then safe and healthy is paying for our character education. So where we're putting in those social and emotional learning supports into our schools. As you know, we adopted Character Strong last year, and so that is helping support our Character Strong program. And then Title V is our rural schools. We are blessed that we are still getting Title V. Some of the school divisions in our area didn't get Title V last year. So Title V, we are still getting this grant, and you can see the list of things that this is paying for. Title V can pay for anything that you can pay for with your Title I, II, III, or IV grants. So anything that I have written into our Title I through IV grants, we can also pay for with our Title V. Title V helps to support our high school the most because our high school is not a Title I school. So for example, the high school a couple years ago needed some more science supplies. Well, we use Title V for that. It also helps pay for our tuition, and it helps pay for those hard to staff areas where we're trying to get teachers. On the last slide, this is our budget information, and you can see that FEQA participates in our Title II and our Title IV grants. Are there any questions? I'm sorry I went really fast, but if there are questions, I will be back next month for your approval, so you can ask them if you think of anything in the next month. So that will be our next step, is to come back and ask for approval, and then after that I will submit our application to the Department of Education.
Actually, I do have. When do you present to us how much they are? Is that?
It's right here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Any other questions? Thank you.
All right, see you next time. Thank you. All right, we have, this is non-action policies that we have for this time is our round. This is our first read of the policy. Is that right? All right, and so they'll be back next time for voting on it.
I will say these ones were we had a little bit more discussion on these ones than the previous ones, so pay close attention and let us know if you have any questions, but some of these are a little bit meatier.
Okay.
But mostly just basic revisions, but there are a few that are.
We are now on information items. Ms. Garrett?
I think this huge chunk is me.
Yeah, I think we're going to do Ms. Jones.
It's okay. Madam Chair, Dr. Cox, members of the school board. The first thing I want to share with you is just talk to you about some gifted numbers so that you're aware of where we are with our gifted screening this year. So in February of 2025, we did our gifted screening. So all students in grades 2 and 5 participated in our universal screening process. And then 27 additional students that were not in grades 2 and 5 were also referred for testing, and that could be from a parent referral or a teacher referral. From those assessment groups, 40 student profile, that combined total would have been 303 students that were screened total. Of those 303, 40 student profiles were considered by the gifted eligibility team, and of those 40 students, 11 were found eligible for services. And so that the breakdown for grades, the breakdown is a variety from 1st through 6th grade for the students that were found eligible. And they will receive services as the program is stated by our gifted plan. So any questions about, this is just the gifted memo. We will bring a gifted plan back to you probably in July for you to see any updates for the new plan.
Will you give me those numbers again?
Sure. There were 303 students screened. Of the 303, 40 were pulled out for gifted eligibility profiles. And then they went in front of an eligibility team. Of that 40, 11 were found gifted eligible. So that means we identified 11 students that will be added to the ones we already have eligible in our program.
Now, I may be old school in this, but they used to categorize the students in a particular area of gifted. Do they still do that?
So we used to have that where we had whether they were gifted based on math,
right,
or English, or art.
Yes.
You can also have music. Our gifted plan right now is just general intellectual aptitude. That's what ours is right now. We are just general. So we only identify students under that one category.
I see.
So the team has started to do some research in looking at the students who have been screened to see if we had subject-specific eligibility, would we be able to find students more students eligible? And so we haven't been able to find definitive data from that yet. So that's something the team would like to look at more next year, just to see. Because at any point, we can change the plan and begin to look at those.
But you'd have to have specific course outlines to go along with that particular talent.
You have to make sure that you service those students in the area that they identify gifted, correct, yeah. So we just need to add that to our plan and then make sure the programs match that.
And a child who maybe comes in after February or after the universal, everybody tested, can the parent request them to be tested, or a teacher or something?
So they could in February. The process takes a while.
Okay.
So we normally don't have them request that late.
And usually if they do request, let's say they request October and September, it just depends. We could screen them that, but the process takes considerable amount of time because you do the screener, but then also there are rating scales that go home, parents with students, and then an eligibility team is brought together. So it just depends. It's a student by student basis, but we could definitely screen them earlier if we had to. Any other questions?
One last question. Do
Sure.
you accept students who have been selected from all the schools that they transfer in?
So it all depends on what their identification was, but we normally do. We normally will accept what other schools have, and then sometimes we may look at what they identified them through and just make sure it meets our criteria. And we don't have a lot of problems usually with that. It usually matches pretty close. All right, any more questions? Okay, so the next thing is the summer school program. So I believe you have it's just a memo giving you an update. So registration is now closed. We did registration went out to identified students. Follow-up calls were made to encourage attendance. And that actually really helped because we didn't have a lot of attendance at the middle school, but they made personal phone calls, which helped encourage parents to increase sending their students for the summer school program. The location, again, and I believe I stated this last time, it's going to be at the middle school for elementary and middle school students and at the CTE building for high school students. Hours will be 8 to noon, and the focus this year is really on remediation and intervention to build the necessary skills for students. Our total enrollment right now for the elementary school is 93 students, and the middle school is 40 students. And those are good numbers that we can manage to still have small student groups and provide the intervention that we'd like to provide. And then teacher applications are currently being accepted so that we can staff the positions needed. High school is going to, of course, focus on credit and course recovery. Any questions about summer school? Okay, the next thing is, I think next we actually have our generative AI presentation, and then I'll go to my last one. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to actually Mr. Crabtree.
Thank you again, Madam Chair, school board members, Dr. Cox. This is a pleasure to be here today to share the exciting work our team has accomplished in shaping how artificial intelligence will be taught at Prince Edward County Public Schools. But first, a little background on how this came about. The Virginia Association of School Superintendents, in collaboration with the Virginia Department of Education, worked with a company called Advanced Learning Partnerships to create this amazing opportunity to help 66 Virginia school systems build everything that they need to support generative artificial intelligence for their school system. Prince Edward was proud to be a part of this cohort. 5 of our admin staff attended this training over a period of 3 months and 4 sessions. It's Ms. Janine Garrett, Mr. Thomas Foster, Ms. Amy McClure, Michelle Kress, and myself. We learned that one thing is for certain. In the age of artificial intelligence, it is here and it will continue to evolve. Some schools have already embraced it, while other schools have struggled to adapt this rapidly changing landscape. But we know here that Prince Edward AI will play a pivotal role in how we prepare our students for success in the future. We already have some teachers and students using AI, and some are not. We had multiple teachers asked to block ChatGPT, Claude, and other AI tools to prevent students from cheating, while other teachers want to use it as a learning and a teaching tool. But as we move forward, our school division needs a framework. It needs a direction to go in so that we could all be on the same page. We want to move forward, and we want to teach this technology to teachers and students how to use it ethically, just like we teach students how to use the internet ethically. Our team has created a generative AI guide, and this was recognized as an outstanding exemplar and showcased at this year's Virginia Association of School Superintendents conference. Our goal behind this document is that we're presenting as we wanted one document that does more than just introduce and define what artificial intelligence is. We wanted this guide to serve as a resource hub for our entire school, so including our staff, our students, and the community, so that they could all go to one place to get the links and the resources that they would use in their classroom. We are thrilled to announce that these materials will be rolled out in the upcoming school year, setting the stage for a broader, more encompassing educational experience. These initiatives are just not a reflection of our commitment to push for progress, but to be at the tip of the spear. Thank you. Are there any questions for us?
So some of the things, I just kind of want to give you a broad overview of some of the things that you can find in here. This is a massive document. So it's going to take a little time to go into it because when you go through it, does it scroll through it all on here?
You can scroll.
When you go through it, there are links that will go, some of it is just explaining, so a lot of it is text heavy. But when you go through it, you will click a link that will take the teachers out to, how will I determine if the student is using this for a way that I need to talk to them about? How am I going to determine the ethical background for this? So there's lots of things. All of this will have links that have them deciding, is this defining original work for the student, or are they using someone else's work? So each part of this then links out to an additional document, and we have developed a professional development process for this, so we're going to roll it out very slow to the staff in chunks, and we're going to kind of open this up in slow chunks to show them how to use it appropriately, because as Mr. Crabtree just said, it's here, and we need to make sure we give them the tools to use it appropriately, but we wanted to put everything here so that the teachers don't have to look and find what they need. Everything is going to be accessible for them, so it's going to take us a while to go through this, and it's going to take a while to look at all of the pieces, but we're going to provide ample training for the teachers before we actually say, here it is, and this is how you use it.
And this is not our final product. This is fluid. AI is always changing. We're still developing training that we're going to implement next year. So this may even look quite different in the summer. It may look very different by next year.
There's even stay the same?
Fluffy is on the front, I know, and
Okay, yeah.
so we would,
laptop.
yeah. Oh, the one with the laptop is an AI-generated eagle. So we used AI to create him, so.
Are you, my question is whether you're going to use AI to set up the program.
To set up the program as in to teach the staff?
Are you going to use AI in planning, making the program?
We used AI in the cohorts and the trainings that we took to make a lot of these documents, to work with a lot of these documents. So we will be using AI to speed up the process and to develop trainings as well.
When we worked through the cohort, they would break us out and teach us each different section of AI and say, okay, if you want to make an integrity document, this is how you could correctly use AI to do that. So that's how the cohort worked with us. So that's how we're then going to work with the teachers.
And would you be able to identify the parts that came from AI and what parts were your contributions?
Would we be able to do that? So this is what I will say. AI is a machine. A machine can only do what you put into it, so it's all our contribution. That's what I'm going to say. In some way, it's all our contribution because we have to state what we needed to say. And when you work with AI on a certain level, you end up having to state, I needed to do this, I needed to do that. We don't just say, create a document for me, because if you do that, the document is going to be flawed. So there's a lot of back and forth with it.
I happened to be talking to a friend of mine who teaches professor of English in Minnesota, in Missouri. And he told me that he had a student, not his dissertation student, but another. He heard from a friend of this dissertation student who used AI to write a paper, and his thesis director had a book which was absorbed by AI, and a précis was lifted from the book that his professor wrote, and he recognized it. And it was humorous.
And that's part of the ethical implications that we kind of want to teach our teachers and have our teachers teach our students, because there are AI that has a lot of bias and it has a lot of issues like you just brought up. I know there's a case about a lawyer that was using AI, and AI kind of made up something and he got in trouble for using it in the courtroom when there was no such case that he was basing his evidence on. So there are a lot of things to look at that I think the students need to know ethically and bias with a lot of this stuff.
Are there ways that teachers could identify the things that are made up?
We have tools, plagiarism tools that are out there, but they also need to know that no tool is 100% perfect. So
We're gonna try and put some safeguards in place so that teachers will have some ways to determine it.
And that goes with our teacher guide that we have for them too.
I know Mr. Townsend.
Yeah, and my big quick question, is this public facing or just internal? This
Right now,
document?
it's internal.
Internal, gotcha.
Right now, it's just internal to you all.
Because
Because it's not, we're not ready to.
first.
Yeah, no, I know the parents and such will probably have questions and such, but kudos to doing this. I think the best way to make the tools to check for plagiarism better is by getting your teachers and such using them on a more regular basis. And so I think get with it or get out of the way or be left behind. So I prefer to be with it and not left behind. So
This
kudos.
is comprehensive, so it's a lot of work.
and teachers do have questions on what tools are out there, what tools that they can use. And we're trying to work with and build an asset map of like, okay, these are the vetted tools that you can use, and this is a tool that you can use for working with lesson plans, this is a tool that you can use for working in math. So we're still going through a lot of these tools and vetting them out.
It's a live document, so I would encourage you to go through it, click on the links. It's intense. We were proud that we used our branding, and then we're also proud, and we want to brag that out of 66 cohorts that participated, Prince Edward was chosen as one of the top 2 for our overall AI story, and we presented this last week, as Mr. Crabtree said, at the VAST conference. We were actually, it was Prince Edward in Norfolk, and we were picked over Norfolk to go present at
Dr. Cox has a question.
So actually, that was gonna be part of my comment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do not be sorry at all, because I think 2 things. I think one is that I think on behalf of all of us, what a great job y'all have done as a team, and we really thank y'all for that. It's kind of nice to be in the forefront. And then, I know when I had talked to y'all, I thought it was 1 out of 5, so to be 1 out of 2, it's tremendous. But thank you for putting this on the forefront, it's very important. And Mr. Crabtree, as you said, it's here. So it's up to us to, I don't know that you ever master it, but I think you understand it, you move it forward in a way that can benefit. And I think y'all are well on the way to doing that. So thank y'all very much for doing that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Sharon, excuse me?
yes, I'm still here. I'm gonna sit down in just a minute. So the last thing that I have, is just the middle school comprehensive school support plan. So we talked, I believe it was last meeting, about the middle school's visit. I just wanted you all to actually have a copy of their plan. So that's what this is. I will not go through this with you. It is extremely detailed and long, but it is there for you to see. So when we are referencing the middle school's CSSP, this is what we're referencing. So I just wanted you to have a copy of it, and they are in it, the teachers have seen it, and they are working through this plan as they do the work for the school year. And we'll move into next school year doing this as well. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. That's a whole lot. Oh, we go cover everything in that information. Yes. I'm just trying to figure. Yeah, that's you. You're next. Farmville Herald.
So I have shared this with all of you. And I'll just go back and reiterate real quick, and Ms. Jones was kind enough to, we showed you the slide actually at the April 15th board meeting. I don't know if it was much to our astonishment, but we had our meeting on April the 15th. And as you know, we advanced a 3% raise to the board of supervisors. And so I believe it was on April the 23rd, I got handed the Farmville Herald, and they had totally misquoted our meeting. And we think what they did was, we think that they went back and took information from our February meeting, and we think they made that the April 15th meeting. That's the best that we can tell. So I gave Mr. Stanley a call, and I asked that I wanted to do this publicly two ways. One was I did want to go to the Board of Supervisors because they're our governing body, and I thought it was very important that they knew that we had nothing to do with this, that we were totally misquoted, that we were never called about the article, we were never interviewed about the article, and so that was extremely disappointing to say the least. So anyway, as I talked to you all, I said that I did want to put it on the agenda tonight because I do think that I would like to maybe get a sense from the board as to how we would like to proceed with this. And there are a number of different ways that you can proceed, but I just thought that maybe before I offer anything, if there's any discussion or if there's any direction to us to talk about this a little bit, but I did want you to see, you already knew, I did want you to see what you actually did on April the 15th. And we know that it's in public record, so. So the issue, among other things, I think is that misinformation is out there, and our staff has probably read that misinformation. And so I think the question is what remedies do we have to correct that?
Did you talk about maybe a letter to the editor? Pointing out those areas where we were misquoted or?
That actually, and maybe that's better than trying to get a retraction. My concern about a retraction sometimes is it's done without context. And so you end up maybe in worse position than you were before you actually tried to do that. But I just kind of wanted to get a sense from the board about how you'd like for us to move forward with it.
Letter to the editor sounds like a good option. Would you write that, Dr. Cox? Would that be the way
I can
go about it?
work with others to write that, and I can get you a draft. I wouldn't send it before but we could do that. Maybe that's a good way to inform the public.
Letter to the editor, and then I think making sure our staff across the division realizes it's 3%.
Right.
Across the board.
And it may be that you could, I suppose the word I'm looking for is customize the letter such that you could do it to both. You could have a letter to the editor, and then you could also have it on the staff. But I do think it's important to let them know what happened, and the fact that when you're not asked for a quote, when you're not interviewed, when you're not anything, all of a sudden you read it. That's not a great position to be in. And quite frankly, sorry, they need to do better than that. So.
Do we need to vote for that, or just kind of general consensus?
I think general consensus is probably fine.
Okay.
Yep. If everybody's good with that, we will take care of that and have something to you as soon as we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on C, discussion of Prince Edward County School Board venue.
So this is me, and so I really really try to listen during school board meetings and kind of as we talk a little bit about it. And there has been some interest in at least maybe looking around a little bit just to see if we want to look at a different venue, if we want to look at a different venue part of the time when we have a big crowd. So I just thought that had come up, and my thought was that, and I'm happy to work with anyone on that, but if we wanted to put a group together to look into that, there's some places we can tour, I think, to kind of look, but I would really like to do that with board backing, I think, before I do it myself. So, Ms. Carson, I don't know the way to go about this, but if we had one or two people that wanted to go with me, we could kind of look and report back to the board and just see how much of an interest there is. But it has come up in board meetings, so I did want to be sure that I'd addressed it.
Well, anyone's interested in joining Dr. Cox on this journey?
I'd be interested.
Okay.
Okay.
If you need a third, I'm glad to be a third.
Okay.
And he said he would like to.
Very good. So
did you get the names?
I will be in contact, and maybe we can arrange a day. And please, it doesn't have to just be places that I think we should go to, but if anybody has any suggestions of other places that you want to look at, I think we can make a part of an afternoon night of it and kind of go, and then maybe report back to the board. Maybe we aim for the, I know we have a board meeting earlier in June, but maybe we
For the end of the year?
yeah, don't we have a,
We have a late.
Close out.
yeah, the
Close out
thank you.
date.
So we could do that. Okay. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Okay, D, school board salary discussion.
Good evening again, everyone.
Thank you, come on, talk to me.
I actually brought this, Region 8 did a school board members' salary survey. So I brought it to the committee on last Wednesday, and actually Prince Edward school board members are the lowest paid board members. So I talked to the former director of finance, and she said you all had only had one increase since she had been here, and that's where you are now. So this is mainly to bring it to your attention, for you to decide what you would like to do. It is a code that actually goes along with increasing the school board members' pay, and each of you all have it with your document. So I think it should be a discussion that you want to have at some point on if you want to raise it and what you want to raise it to.
Yes.
Madam Chair, can we look to have this, I know it's on the board agenda for tonight, just for us, as far as the information, but to look to have it on the agenda for discussion, potential action, whatever, next month.
Next month. I mean, other board members' comments? I was like, what? We worked harder than that this year, then you know you did, you know you worked harder than that. Than this. So,
Question,
yes, ma'am.
what is our timeline? And what deadline are we trying to meet?
Okay, I have highlighted a section in the code of Virginia 22.1-32, and that's B, and it says a local school board representing the city or town may establish a salary increase prior to December 31st in any year preceding a year in which members are to be elected or appointed. Such increase shall become effective on July 1 of the year in which the election or appointment occurs, if the election or appointment occurs prior to July 1, and shall become effective January 1 of the following year if the election or appointment occurs after June 30th. So it physically kind of like goes around your appointments. So I don't know how many are coming up in January. Any of you all for renewing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of goes with that, kind of like you have to do it before, you can't do it within the time that you're actually being appointed.
So we have to do it before election time.
Right, in a sense, yes.
It has to be before November.
Seven.
Before the election comes up.
Before you, right.
This election.
Yeah.
So then, such increase shall become effective on July.
And,
So in our case, it'd be January 1, I think.
And yes, it kind of runs with your budget as well.
Yeah, that's my thing.
It does.
with this, is that a strain on the budget if we ask for something before, since the budget's already been approved?
It all depends on what you're asking for, man.
Like what?
It doesn't look like a bill stream based on the other, what they've done, Region 8 does, based on if we're consistent with the rest of Region 8.
Well, that's a big range. So.
Yes, it is. It is.
Halifax, yeah, versus us.
Yes.
It's weird, right? Because we're on this side, and like you don't want to, like we'd be voting to raise our own salary, right? Which is always a weird thing to be on this side of. But it's kind of the case where it's such a disparity that if I feel like if I was on the other side of it, I'd be like, oh, I feel like our representatives deserve a bit more. But it definitely warrants some careful conversation. Would like to address certainly before the new folks come in.
Especially when you're talking about your counterpart board members that's almost surrounding you, and you're still the lowest of them.
They were the lowest of anyone, and then of
Except
course our neighboring divisions nearby.
Which is
West Point gets 0, at least on the graph.
They get 0, or do they just not put their stuff down there?
Yeah, because you, as me as the finance person, went in and actually keyed in what the board members made. So their finance person or their clerk may have done the same as well.
Well, like I said, I think we did our.
Is that true for, that's monthly for that group on the bottom? That's a monthly?
It says monthly. It says monthly.
But you have to remember that not all boards have 8 people.
Yeah.
So very true.
And that's true too.
8, some have less than 8. Yeah.
Some have 5, 6.
Some have what?
5, 6.
5, yeah.
Yeah, that's what you see mostly is 4 or 5 mostly.
Should we add it to the agenda for June or July and
June, next month.
Definitely June.
For June.
I think June, yeah, especially. The time you can think about it and look at it and do your own little research if you want to. And come back with questions or whatever. But I think as a board, we deserve that. Maybe not deserve is not the right word.
I'll be ready to make a motion next month.
Okay. But, you decide. We could have to decide as a board. It'll be a board decision.
Yeah.
Okay? But I just she showed it to me and I said, oh. But we wanted to bring it to the board so they could see.
Ms. Jones, we appreciate you doing this.
We do.
Bring it to the finance committee and so the total board be made aware of it.
Thank you
all.
And we will come back in June. We'll be sure to put it on there. Calendar is in your, calendar?
Yeah, can I just point out a few things?
Yes, please.
So, high school graduation come up May the 17th. I believe that's a Saturday morning at 10. Fourth grade and eighth grade stepping up ceremonies the next week at 9 o'clock, both in the middle school. Actually, all three are in the middle school gymnasium. Maybe the one of most interest is the last day of school. So that's coming up on May the 23rd, early dismissal for that day. Of course, you have Memorial Day holiday, and that leads us up to our next board meeting, which is June the 4th. So I had 3 or 4 things on my superintendent's report, if I could. So the first is that, and Ms. Eames Walton shared that a little bit, what a great week for teacher and staff appreciation. And I think you can really see that, first of all, we certainly appreciate what our teachers and staff do. But I think to celebrate this week has been really special. I did want you to know that we have started the salary scale study. And so we have actually met with the company and I think are about to get a project manager to move that forward. So as soon as we have something substantive on that, we will bring it back to you and let you know, but I think that's very exciting. I believe in your, and maybe I didn't, I put a folder out just to kind of show you the fencing proposal again. And you've given me conceptual approval the last time to move ahead on that. So I have been moving ahead with Jennifer Katz, she's of Mosley. And so basically we've kind of started to lay out the parameters a little bit. And that would be to certainly not begin construction right now. That would be more of a summer project. I think the idea would be is to have it done before school starts next year. So I think everybody's kind of agreed on that timeline. I think English can be a major participant in that. So I really feel like that's moving along pretty well. The other thing I talked to Jennifer a little bit about, so she's with Mosley, and I've worked with Mosley quite a bit in some of the stops that I've had. But the main place that I worked with Mosley is Colonial Heights High School over a number of years. And I only bring that up because as we did things in the high school, we recognized we needed to do other things. And one of them was our cafeteria. And so because Mosley had worked with us on other projects, I was able to work with them to kind of do an assessment in Colonial Heights of the cafeteria project. What I'd really like to work with them here, and I'll come back to you before I do anything, but I think it really might be good to have someone look at the auditorium in total rather than to try to do it piecemeal. And certainly appreciate some of the proposals we've gotten. But I think with Mosley on site, it kind of makes sense to me to kind of approach them and to have them kind of take a look at it. And then I think at some point, if that went, they could come back to you and to me or to us with a proposal, and we could kind of really take a look, I think, at a few things. One is what's all going to be involved. And what happens a lot of the time is that you'll get 5 or 6 layers on a project, and sometimes you decide, okay, we can do 4, and then we can move ahead. But I started talking to her a little bit about that. I took that as moving ahead conceptually, that I could start working with them a little bit. So as soon as we get anything substantive about that, I will let you know. And the other thing that I included was something that Mr. Stanley had talked to me a little bit about. I think it's actually pretty exciting. It's a sidewalk project. And so I believe I had the cover letter. I hope I did. But what he asked me to do was to do a letter of support. We've already done that. But this is a grant application to get sidewalks installed along Zion Hill Road, connecting all 3 schools and the apartment complex in the back. Yeah, and thanks to, I'm sorry you left because I wanted to thank him publicly, but I did the letter of support, so it's already gone. He'll send it wherever he wants to send it. But I also think too, it's kind of nice when you package things a little bit. You have this, you have the fence, you have some different things like that, and all of a sudden I think you're really looking at not only we're obviously enhancing that facility, but with safety and security, but also your entire campus. I think that's pretty huge. So. And then just the last thing, one of the things I always like to do at the end of the year, and I've already really had Ms. Lee start working the sites on this, I think it's so important to acknowledge students at the end of the year. And so one of the things, I think I've done this 21 times maybe, I hope this is going to be the 22nd, is to do A and B honor roll letters at the end of the year. And I do them on behalf of you as the school board, but the great thing is that all I have to do is call and I can have 6 letters I've used over the years. But I did want to go ahead and do that, but I'd just like to let you know that I think I've always found that I think it's really important to celebrate that academic achievement, and we still have a few things that we need to work out on, but I just kind of wanted to let you know that. And I think this was already brought up, but I thought our career fair was very, very successful, and I think that was really a nice proactive effort to get out and really recruit. And so I want to thank Ms. Eames Walton, and I know there were others. There were a lot of people there, but I think Dr. Jones was there for part of the time, so I thought it went very, very well. And Ms. Eames Walton, May 13th?
May 13th.
Yes.
4:30 to 7:30.
Very good. Middle school, still
Middle school
very
cafeteria.
good. And let's see, I think that's all I have, Ms. Carson.
Thank you. Well, let us know about that sidewalk. I was reading that letter. That's kind of interesting. Board member comments? Any board member comments? Okay. That's all. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to piggyback on that sidewalk thing, because that's been something that we've been wanting for a long time. Especially when you go out there and you see the apartments and they're waiting at the bus stop, and the school is right down the road. Some of them could, if they had a sidewalk, they could safely walk on down to the school, and then and also to connect the schools. So that's big. So I really appreciate that. And then the career fair, I wanted to get back to that too. It went well. Mr. Johnson actually he played a big role in that. I wanted to give a shout out to him for his role in that. And the vendors that were, he had a wide array of vendors to participate along with Ms. Walton, Ms. Walton, and some of the vendors actually said that they would actually recruit some of the students to participate. And I don't want to call out the names too much without including all, many of them, but they did say that they would offer some positions, some summer positions for some of the students if they apply. So I'd like to make sure that we reach out to some of those vendors, and at least one of them I know did say that. And for some that they weren't getting applications like they used to get from our students. So sometimes the grandparents would even come in and apply, but they're not seeing that anymore. That's what
Mister?
I was looking at the calendar, and I was trying to find the the date of the sports banquet. I really feel very strongly that our athletes that have accomplished so much this year and previous years need a bona fide, not thrown together sports banquet, sports, whatever you want to call it, where the family members, parents, etc., can come and participate in them getting awards and being shown appreciation. And the mere fact that I don't see it on the calendar suggests to me that it's not happening. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Collins.
I do not have the past calendar sitting with me, but I believe they did that about a week and a half ago. at the high
They
school.
did it already
I believe they did, but I will double check for you.
and did not inform the board or,
I don't know, I'll double check for you.
because that's even more problematic. When we talk about validating our students, we have to make sure that we do that in a manner that they can recognize and understand as being validation. When they come through here, yes, we applaud them and they smile and all, but when it's a whole different thing when they are before their peers, when they are with their parents, et cetera, et cetera. So I really hope that some real thought is given to the sports banquet. When we want our schools to excel and our community to be more viable, they look at the schools. The schools are as good as we validate the students for because they use sports to help the students to excel. And I'm not seeing a lot of attention being given where the students can fully understand the validation. I don't see that, and that bothers me. The other thing that I want to remind myself to say is happy belated Principals Week. We miss saying that they deserve all of the accolades that we can bestow upon them because of the job that they have to do. Our teachers, yes, you all are awesome. I don't know where to start because I'd never end if I started thinking about the accolades that we need to bestow upon our teachers.
Yes. And then the nurses, yes.
Nurses.
Nurse Appreciation Week also.
Nurses appreciation too, yes.
Thank you to all of our school nurses. Seeing the social media love was really, really cool, and I know y'all help with my little one a lot more than maybe she actually needs, but that's okay. That's her, not y'all. But we appreciate you all. The end is near. Thank you all for putting in such a hard work this year. We know that our students have made tremendous gains. I mean, just know y'all are seen and validated, and we appreciate everything that y'all do. I know summer is coming. Hopefully y'all get to do something fun. Summer school's fun. For those who are going to be staying for summer school, we appreciate y'all too. But yes, just stick with it. 2.5 more weeks. 2.5 more weeks. 10 days until graduation. So won't be able to join then, but certainly I think Bianca's going to be a great speaker, and it's going to be a great time. So thank y'all. Kudos to the end of the year. Kudos for another great year in the books, and great things to come in the future.
I just want to thank Ms. Stitt for remembering us, reminding us to recognize the teachers and the principals and the nurses. I had that down to say, and you already said it, so I won't say it again, but it's true. You know how things go. And also all the board members for all your work you did. I think I thanked you at the end of March. And I want to thank you again publicly for the help of the search. I saw an article in the paper the other day that said 40% of the school systems in Virginia, they had some type of switch, superintendent came in or left out or 40%. So, it is what it is. We did the job that needed to be done. And now we'll continue to finish up this year in June and go and have some fun, and then come back and start all over again. Dr. Cox, and I know we still got another month, but I can't tell you how much you've helped us, me especially, calling you. I know you're sick of talking to me, and but I'm not sick of talking to you, so when
That's a good sign.
that's a good thing. So when it is time to go, when it's your last day, we'll see how it goes, okay? We appreciate you, but we do appreciate everything. You're looking out for us with the school, you're looking out for us with the capital plans or the money from the board of supervisors. We just don't know what to do, so if you wanna stay along, we might not pay you, but you wanna stay for a year or two, we'll take you, we'll have find some, we can fix you up, hook you up.
Very much.
Yes, but, and,
One other group, Lisa, Lucy, we didn't acknowledge, and that was the bus drivers.
yes, bus drivers.
We need to, they come
work
and go
hard.
like clockwork.
Yeah, and Mr. Bruce, Mr. Davis.
Friday was Lunch Ladies Hero Day.
Oh, nice.
So they work very
And
hard.
what did you serve them?
What did I serve them? Oh, they've been getting treats all week long. And a hard time too, but.
And just to piggyback what every board member said, just reflecting, being in that line of fire, day in and day out, being the public servants that every staff member across our division are, and that they truly care for our kids and work tirelessly and take a lot of the stories of our children home with them. So just reflecting back over all the years of public service and all the kids and then tonight, the celebrations that took place, that have taken place each month. And all the, we had retirees here 45 years. And then we had a teacher still was awarded tonight, 40 years, 35. So it just speaks leaps and bounds that our staff members are here for the right reason and that they're here taking care of our kiddos across the whole division. So just hats off to them and then all the schools as far as getting ready for SOLs and all the incentives and all the encouragement that is being given. And our students will work hard, and then all of our families that entrust our students and entrust our kids, they could choose somewhere else to send the children, but they're invested in Prince Edward County. So I really appreciate that.
Okay. We have to go back in closed session. Oh, no, we don't. Oh.
We do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Okay. I need a motion to go back in closed session.
So moved.
All right, all in favor? I know you all are. Nice.
Another roll call, yes ma'am. Okay, we're doing another roll call vote to certify that to the best of each member's knowledge, the only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening to the closed session were heard, discussed, or considered during the closed session. Mr. Townsend?
Yes.
Mrs. Stiff?
Yes.
Dr. Ariady?
Yes.
Mrs. Carson?
Yes.
Dr. Corbett?
Yeah.
Mr. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Okay.
I need a, motion?
I move that we adjourn.
No.
No.
You got to do
Can't
the.
do it.
Motion to approve the personnel report, the superintendent's personnel report as presented.
Second.
Okay.
Alright. All in favor?
Okay.
And the second, the other one was?
Motion for the school board to uphold the discipline committee's decision regarding student A.
Second. Mr. Stiff seconded? Alright, all in favor? We did all.
Alright, Dr. Ariady, take that.
Now, Dr. Ariady.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Second, okay, everybody, yes? Thank you. Alright, have a good one.
Kind of reminds me of
Oh, man. Look, I don't blame him. I was like, I gotta eat too.